back to my platform. I remain your humble lady, Kespita Obayoje, and today is another beautiful topic. Please, if you are new to this platform, consider me and subscribe. Share, click on the notification bell for more notification. Like I said today is another beautiful topic. Perfect tips for sewing neatly. Perfect tips for what? Sewing neatly. How your dress can be fitted, or how your dress that you are making can be what? Perfect. Stay tuned. I remain your humble lady, Kespita Obayoje. That is me, and you are welcome to this platform. Like I said today we are going to be talking about perfect sewing tips. I have several perfect sewing tips that will help you, or that will help me to come across our sewing skills, because I found out that most of us are struggling with our sewing skills. Maybe the cloth you are sewing is not neat enough, the dress is not perfect enough, especially when you give them to customer, they will be complaining. So, and these have been my problem that I'm struggling with, but just quite long, not too much, quite long. I just recovered from it, and I said, let me share it with you guys. Please, just stay tuned and let us do the talking or discussion together. One of it is your measurement. The solution to this problem, or the solution to this our sewing tips that will make our clothes or the fabric or the dress we make for people to have a very good shape, to have a very perfect body shape. One of it is our sewing materials, which is our sewing equipment. I'm talking about ruler here. You know, some people, they said I am old in the game, I don't need ruler. Sometimes you as a beginner, or you that is still you are inside, maybe a long time ago, you still need what we call what? Tools for sewing. The ruler, you need it. There is one thing we call a curve ruler, which is hip curve ruler, and we have armhole ruler, and we have a normal straight ruler. All these help us to do what? While we are cutting, those ruler help us to maintain the lane, to maintain the line properly, especially that hip curve. If you make use of it, your work, the hip that you are cutting will be what? Will be perfect. Then the ruler, why I said straight ruler, maybe you are cutting 6 pieces skirt. You know what I'm saying, from the knee. That you know from the knee, that is where the shape start from. So you can just quickly use the straight ruler, cross it over, and you rule it down. Then it will be what? Perfect. Then the armhole measurement, most of us, we don't even know how to draw. But as a fashionista or as a cloth designer, you must know how to draw. So you as a beginner, or you that is still inside but you are struggling with your sewing tips, like the way I am struggling with my sewing tips before, you need a armhole measurement, which is the curve ruler of the armhole measurement. If you use it, it's very, very what? It's very perfect. Instead of you to be using your hand to be doing it like this, just make use of the armhole measurement, which is the armhole ruler measurement. So we need those things. And possible, you can work with chalk, especially. You can work with chalk, especially. So you need the chalk too to still draft it out. I don't know whether you are getting me. So that is that. Then another one, the table you are cutting your fabric matters a lot also. Is it a small table? No, small table is not good for cutting. You need a wider table and you need a long table. The width and the length of the table matters a lot. Maybe you want to cut a fabric of 60 meters of length. You need a table that can accommodate the fabric, so that you can see what you are measuring. So the table you are using matters a lot. Some people normally use ground. No, ground is not advisable. I don't know. As for me, I don't like using ground. When I put my fabric on the ground, I have waist pain. So if you really want to be comfortable in your cutting processing, the table you are using matters a lot, especially the width. The table must have a wider surface, and the table must be long, which is the length of the table, so that whenever you are making a dress that is more than 60 inches length, that table can accommodate it. It's a quick one here. So these are the things I am passing through, but it's not quite long I recover from it. So the other one is notching. Notching. If you are a sewing teacher, you know what I'm saying, or if you are someone that is making dress, you know what I'm saying. Notching is very important for you to give your customer the best cloth, or a befitting, as in very fine and fitted cloth. Maybe after cutting you sew, then when the customer put it on you, she will smile. She will tell you, you get this one right. So one of it is ironing or notching. Let's talk about the notching first. So when you measure the cloth, like I said, after you cut the blouse, the front and the back blouse, you notch the middle so that it will help you to maintain the length or the width of the both cloths. I'm talking about the front part like this and the back part like this. Then you notch the down part. Maybe if you want to join something like flared, make sure you notch the down part at the middle and the back part of the middle. So that is that. That also help in cutting cloth and a perfect fitting for dress. Perfect fitting for dress. That one also help. Notching is very important. Then we are in the fifth. I don't know whether fourth or fifth. Then the other one is ironing. Ironing is very, very important. These tips I'm sharing with you now, I am strongly with it since all this while, but it's not quite long I recover from it. So ironing is very important. No matter how hasty you are making those clothes or making those dresses, make sure you iron it. Don't wait for you to finish the cloth before you iron. When you sew this part, which is the shoulder, you iron. When you sew this part, you iron. When you sew the round neck, you iron. And if the cloth is rumpled, you know what I mean by rumpled. Maybe the cloth is not straight. Make sure you iron it properly before you even cut. Some fabric, when the customer brought it, most of them are squeezed. Most of them are rumpled. Let me make use of that. So make sure you iron it. When you iron it, so that when you want to fold, the two parts will be equal before you cut it. Then after you are when you are sewing, immediately when you are sewing, you iron. If you sew the neck, you iron. You sew the both sides, you iron, so that it will be very perfect and it will relax. So that one is one of the tips also. Ironing is very, very important in making clothes or making dresses. So even immediately you sew anything, even in this, maybe this very hand you are sewing, you do what? You iron it so that it will be what? Relax. So don't wait for you to finish the dress first before you start ironing it. No. When you iron it, the length will be equal, the width side will be equal, and you will be seeing everything very relaxed. And you will not stress yourself. Even after making it, you won't stress yourself. So another tip there is what? Is ironing. Then another one, you trim the excess part of it. After you have finished sewing it, maybe you have finished joining it, make sure you trim inside. You trim the excess part. Maybe you can leave like half inches or 1 inches. Like me, if I'm making my dresses or I'm making dresses for people, I normally put 2 inches. So that 2 inches, I will trim 1 inches. Then the remaining inches, maybe the person that I'm making the dress for maybe has a weight more than the day it came to meet me to measure her or he. So I normally have 2 inches. Maybe she has regained more weight, so that I can easily open it, then adjust it. But the most important thing, make sure you trim inside for a what? A perfect sewing. So that the dress will be what? Relaxed. It will not have a puffy, maybe puffy in inner. So that everything will be what? Will be flat. Most of us, we do still buy already made. Let me say ready made, the one that they normally they have already made. We bought most of us as a tailor, because as a tailor you must still buy. It's not everything that you will be making by yourself. You understand? So most of the clothes we even buy, if you see inside, is the inches is not much. They don't even there is no inches. They will just leave a very half inches to it. I don't know whether you are understanding me. So you as a sewing person, or you as a fashionista, what you do, you trim inside of your clothes after making it, before any other processes can take place. Don't leave it puffy, because if you leave it puffy, it will look very swallow. It will swell up, as in, you know what I'm saying. So the last one so far before I go, you do what? Make sure you weave inside of your dress you make for people or yourself. Make sure you do what? You weave inside. There is one thing we call weaving machine, or weaving sewing machine. Yes. Immediately you sew, immediately you are through with it, you do what? You weave inside for a perfect finishing touch. But if you don't have weaving machine like mine, I normally use zigzag. And it's not quite long I know of it. Zigzag is inside since, but I was just thinking, since I don't have a weaving machine, what I would be using. So I am using zigzag. There is a way I do it. I will fold it and fold it, then I will zigzag it. Then it will still come out very perfectly. All these tips I'm talking about, I don't normally do them before, but since I have know the answer, I have know the solution, I am doing them now. So, and it's helpful. Even most of my customers will say, your work is not neat. But now most of them, they are telling me I am trying now, because I have realized my mistakes, and I have come out of it, and I have found solution to those problem. And I believe most of you out there, you are still struggling with what I am struggling with before. So if you know these tips, your work will be what? Very, very neat. The table you cut matters a lot. The table must be a wide table, and it must have a very good length. Cutting in the ground, no, because it's not helpful. How can you be squeezing yourself and you be cutting? No. Your waist, you will have waist pain. Like mine, I normally have waist pain when I'm using a ground, because the table I'm using before is not big enough. So when I realize that the table is not big enough, I'm using ground. But the ground, when I'm using the ground, my waist is paining me. So if you don't want to feel waist pain, make use of bigger table. Acquire for bigger table. Then you can stretch the fabric well. So that is that. I hope these 5 tips is helpful, because it's helpful for me. That is why I'm sharing it with you. That is a sewing techniques, or as a fashionista. So it's very helpful. I don't know whether it's helpful, but I believe if you practice what I just said, it will be what? Helpful for you. You as a learner, or you that has been on the game since many years, because there are some things you don't know. Now, solution has come. Someone that has just entered the game of sewing, like 6 months, the person will just know all these tips I'm saying. But most of us inside, we don't know it. So it's not quite long I recover from this sewing perfectly. It's not quite long that I have known the solution to it. One of it, you must trim your excesses after you have finished sewing. 2, good pressing iron. You must iron while sewing. Don't finish your sewing before you iron. If you sew the hand, iron it. If you sew the side, iron. If you sew the under of the shirt, iron. 3, the table you are cutting must be a good one. The table you are cutting must be a good one. Then the 4th one, the material you are using, which is the tools you are using. The tools you are using can still help you in bringing out a perfect shape. A perfect shape. Then another one, which is the fifth one or the sixth one. The fifth or the sixth one, you must notch. Notching is very important. Like the armhole, if you want to sew it, maybe the sleeve, after cutting the sleeve like this, make sure you notch this part to know the center for you to add it to this very shoulder. You must notch, and make sure you notch the middle of the blouse, the down part of it, so that it will be equal with the back side. Then the last one so far is your measurement. Some people use 9 inches in armhole measurement, some use 7, some use 8. Like I use 9 inches in my armhole measurement. So whenever I want to do shoulder slope, I minus 1 inches from it, then it will fall at 8 inches measurement. But if it is a stretchy fabric, I used 8 inches. After taking 1 inches from the shoulder slope, it will fall at 7. So immediately you are finished sewing everything, make sure you measure it again, hip to hip, the waist, then the length, then the wideness. Make sure you measure it again to know the appropriate measurement. Maybe the hip is 46 and what you are having after finish sewing is 48. Make sure you measure it again. Immediately you measure it, adjust it to the very size. So I believe you people are enjoying this very beautiful topic, because this topic is very important and is a solution to our problem, because these are the problems we are passing through. Especially me, I am passing through this problem. So, but thank God, I've realized it and I have solution to it. So, if you are new again, please kindly subscribe, share, consider me, and click on the notification bell for more notification, for more topic like this, and for more sewing tips like this, and for more maybe question and answer. Like I said, very soon I will be on live. God bless you for watching and for staying with me. God bless you. Have a very wonderful days ahead of you. God bless you.